Alrighty. Hi everybody. I am William Pavone with ThreadLink. We are a web design and branding agency here in Central Florida. We are over at the 50 West building. And I look forward to talking to you guys today regarding AI models and giving you guys kind of like a top-down view of how these models work and how they're kind of working in the model in the market. Let's kind of get started. A little housekeeping here, reminders, keep your mics on mute. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand at the bottom in your key. So in the middle of the slides or any information that you think of while we're going through the whole process, feel free to raise your hand. I want this to be as interactive as possible. That way, if an idea sparks, we can kind of address it while we're still on the topic. And if you can, keep the question as quick and clear as possible. That way we can have as many people talk if they are interested. And and that way we can use chat to share ideas. So when your business and AI merge, and we're going to be talking about chat and a few other models in this deck review. So what are the objectives? What are kind of the goals of AI? The objective is to use these models to kind of simplify our lives. There's a lot of things going on today in the current market when it comes to working as quickly as possible, assisting our clients as quickly as we can, and trying to review and do standard business operations while still running everything with the company and your staff. How do you do this? We're going to go into prompting, how to properly prompt your models so that you're getting the best results as possible. The more thorough and detailed your prompts are, the more you can get the correct outcome of what you're trying to solve or what problem you may have. Why is this all important? The market is shifting or has shifted drastically from a digital presence. These tools are meant to assist you and help you so that you can kind of streamline your business and you can kind of put it in hyperdrive. This is meant to, if you have a question regarding a consultant, if you have a question regarding the data that you have in your systems, this is all built and structured so that you can speed up that process and you don't have a time of limbo in between while you're kind of moving forward using these models. This is not what AI is. AI is not a big scary monster that is going to steal all of your information and your data, and you're not going to be able to access the internet anymore. Very, very big misconception. So what is it if it's not this big scary thing? It's an infrastructure, right? This is a software. This is a system that has access to data, and it helps you with writing, summarizes information, creates data, plans content, and more. The purpose of this is it pulls information from the internet based off of like a timeline. So the information that chat is using or these tools are using isn't information that is available right now. So if there's something that happens in the news and you're prompting the system to talk about what's currently happening today, the models will not know. Some of them are getting better at scanning and analyzing information that is current at the moment, but a lot of the core data is still backdated. The importance of that is when you're prompting or when you're using this information, we want to make sure that we're prompting with data that it has available at the time. Planning content. A lot of us know that we need to use social media. We need to create content for your LinkedIn, your Facebook profiles, or if you're looking to create more video-based content or things to post onto YouTube or other platforms, this can help you with that. The very high-level view, but this can help you with those more simple tasks. And then you can always go beyond that and you can dive into analyzing your internal revenue for the company month over month and say, okay, I want you to give me a structured breakdown on how this works and how am I projected for the company and what modifications do I need to make in the system so that we can excel growth or improve revenue over time. So you can get as robust as possible with your system to make it help you and help you scale your business to the best of your abilities. And this, in the long term, is to help you with your time. A lot of us here are extremely busy. We have a lot of things going on. The last thing we need is one more task and one more tool to work with. So what we're trying to do is improve those functionalities so that we can kind of move forward with this system. Any questions on that, or is everybody okay so far? Good. So what is ChatGPT? This is chat, right? This is the model where you would prompt and you would submit your request based off of information and data that you provide, right? Some of you have probably seen this model. Some of you have not. This is an online-based tool. So you would create an account, and then you would have access to a certain database based off of which plan or membership you choose. And then from here, you would put your prompts in, and that kind of answers the questions and the details that you may have based off of your system. I know some of you already know what ChatGPT is and what the models are, but this is kind of like a big top-down view of what this system looks like. So we use it and we run these models based off of a prompt, right? The prompt has to be structured in a way to give you the best outcome. Sometimes if you prompt it with shorter information or without as much data, it will still give you a response, but the response that you're receiving from it will not be either 100% accurate, or it might not be at the best of its abilities. So you want to make sure that you prompt it in a clear structure outlining what your goals are. So first one is your objectives. So what is it that we're trying to do? What's the goal of what we're looking to achieve? From there, you would jump into your parameters and constraints. So if there's a budget, if there's a time frame, if there's a tool that you need it to use, you would want to add that into your prompt. Tone and style. I remember we were talking earlier. If you want it to be sassy, it'll be sassy with you. So you can pick how it's talking to you and how it's communicating with you in the system with the response that it gives you. And then what your priorities are based off of what it is that you're looking to achieve. Do you want to be quick? Do you want it to be creative? Or do you want accuracy? And then from there, once you get your initial prompt response, then you would review and you would refine. And that's how you improve the feedback based off of how it's moving forward. So this is a framework on what that model will look like. So you want it to act as, and then you would give it a role, whether it's an accountant, whether it's your business advisor, whether it's a CPA. You want it to help you with XYZ task, right? And you're using a tone to give you a certain feedback. And in this format, you want it to be in a drop-down grid, you want it to be in a table, you want it to be in a Word document, structure. You frame all of this out as you're issuing your prompt. So what does that look like? So this is a prompt so that you guys can get an understanding of how you would frame this out. So you would act as a business operations efficiency specialist, analyze and recommend improvements to my administrative workflows to increase team productivity and reduce inefficiencies. Our current process is, and then you would break down what your process is. The more on your process that you give it, the better your feedback that you're going to get from the model. My goal is to streamline operations and increase revenue by 5 to 10%. Please suggest specific tools, automation opportunities, and process adjustments delivered in a phased implementation timeline that aligns with business realities, staff training needs, and minimal operational disruption. So this is a pretty still simple prompt, but you can see the power that this would give you if you're looking to implement this because your operations is off or you need additional help with a current employee or staff member that is overwhelmed with work or saturated with work, and you're looking to streamline that process so that that employee can either do additional things or yourself. So this is a structure of a prompt. Any questions on this? Good, perfect. So Now I want to try to build a prompt with someone. So I know I made it very intimidating with the AI model that I have here. But is anyone working or dealing with anything or have an idea of a situation that they have that they would want to frame out a model with me? Or it's a okay, perfect.
Um, I have an event coming up.
Okay.
It is the Caribbean Jerk Festival,
Ooh, nice.
and I would like to know how to get the most attention
Mhm.
out of something on social media.
Okay. So just a brief recap. Okay, so this is for the Jerk Festival. What is it that you're trying to get more attention to? What's the graphic going to be?
The graphic is going to be the flyer that's already been made
Okay.
that has all the information like time, place, uh, and location.
Okay.
I just need help to create the best social media, I guess, blurb to get the most attention, to get the most participants.
Okay, so you're trying to come up with the copy under the post, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. So with this model, something that you can do is you can actually upload the graphic into this prompt. So what you would say is, I have a prompt here, right? I have this graphic here, and then I'm going to train it now. So we have a jerk festival that's coming up in Claremont, Florida, and we are looking to optimize a social media post. And we have a target market between the ages of 18 to 65. And we are looking to attract more clientele to the market. Can you give me a few examples of some social media text that I can put under my graphic that's already been designed? Right? So we have the prompt here of what I was just talking about. You submit the prompt, and then it gives you a structure. So, and I gave it a little bit more parameters between age range. I don't know if that's the exact age range that you're looking for, but then here are your examples that you have, right? Get ready, Claremont, coming to town, join us for a day of smoking jerky chicken, live music, family fun, Korea. So it gives you some details on prompts that you can use. But let's say you're doing these prompts and you still need more. How do these prompts look so far? Do you feel like you need more information?
Yes, I love like number option two, but can we make it sound, can we give it more of an island vibe?
Yes. So this is where you start modeling it and you improve it over time. So we want it to have more of an island vibe. What else do we need? Is there any
Um,
specific details that we may need? Is there a big attraction that they might want to see aside from just the standard food and music?
yes, we have a uh, um, People's Choice jerk cook-off.
Is there a cook-off?
And
Okay.
yes,
Do you want it to have a certain style or like do you want it to sound like someone from the Caribbean or anything like
yes.
that? Okay. All right. So we want it to sound like someone from the Caribbean. We have, oh, I have to move my menu here. Okay. So we want it to sound like someone from the Caribbean. We have a cook-off that we're going to have. And what was the third element?
And no, yeah, make it sound more island vibe.
Okay. Alrighty. So we really like number two. We wanted to give it more of an island vibe. And we are also having a cook-off. So we want to make sure that we sound excited about the festival and engaging. Cook-off, so perfect. So you review your prompt, make sure everything looks good. So I told it that I like number two because I want it to model it after that prompt. And it'll give you your feedback. How's this?
Love it. And I love that it has the emojis already attached too.
Mhm. And you already have your hashtags and your details regarding this. So one thing that we didn't say is we didn't train it into a certain style. So you can screenshot this one if you'd like. But what I would
Oh, I
like to,
did. I did already. I'm going to the beach now.
there you go. One thing I like to do is I like to give it a role, right? So, for example, so I would like you to analyze this last prompt that you submitted. I think it's great, but I want you to view this from the perspective of a marketing specialist that specializes in social media. I want to make sure that everything looks and feels right for this event. And if there's anything that we need to maximize to improve the algorithm on social to attract more people, I want you to make those modifications or give me the suggestions. So the reason why I did that is because I want this to have the experience of someone that's really good at social media. I want it to understand that I'm not a social media specialist. I am not the VIP that works at Blind or Pentagram in New York City that knows how to prompt these things correctly. So it gave me the feedback, what's working well, strong hook, what could be optimized, and then it gives you the optimized version. So it'll give you the details and breakdown as to what can be tweaked and why it's recommending certain things. And then it'll give you the feedback based off of this. If you notice, there's like spacing differences, added more hashtags. And a lot of the data it knows because it realizes that we're in Florida. It realizes our location. It realizes that we're talking about food festivals. And then here it gives you feedback to stack on that. So we can take this even further. Okay, this post looks great. So the event is coming up. I want to I know that just one graphic isn't going to be enough. Is there a graphic stream with a schedule structure that I can come up with so that we can make sure that coming up to the event, we can get the most outcome and social interaction? And is there other forms of marketing that I can do that would also help promote the event? Of course. Sometimes it has its moments. It's AI. So, is there something else that we can do so that we can structure out a more detailed social ad campaign for this event? I'm looking to attract as many people, but I know that one post just isn't going to do it. Is there a detailed timeline structure that you can give me and some ideas on advertising and marketing that I can use so that I can promote this event? Perfect. Because it's not just going to be one tone, right, Maritza? One graphic.
Correct.
If it was
Yeah.
only that easy,
Right.
right? So then this would give you a structured plan. And these systems also have memory. They don't have extensive memory. You can't go too far into it because it'll start having errors, but it has memory pretty far back on terms of where you started, and it's factoring in how I want it to act, the tone, and the details of the prompt, right? So now you have a structure that you can use. Week 3. Okay, so let's say we reviewed all of these and all of these look good. Content to post. But now I'm like, okay, so this is giving me the structure on everything and the framework, but I still don't know what I'm putting together, right? So it's giving me the high level things, content to post, paid ad strategy. So, okay, so all of these posts look good. Can you give me the details on what graphics I should create to put this on? And then from here, give me the text that's also going to go under the graphic for the post. So breaks down design elements. Here you have your captions, and it'll break it all down for you based off of this structure. And you can specify if you have a budget. So it's like, oh, I only have a budget of X for this event. So please factor in that budget while I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And you can give it the feedback from previous events so that it factors in some of that data when you're promoting this one. Like, hey, these are the graphics. These are all the graphics that I posted for last year. This is the outcome that we got. This is the demographic and the scope of clientele that came into the event. And this was the main route or structure of how they found us last year. So I want to maximize on how they found us last year, but I also want to tap into new markets to ensure that we maximize or cap out the event. Does that help you?
Very cool. Thank you, William. Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool.
So this can definitely, Maritza, especially for you with the events, you can definitely use this tool structuring out a whole event coordination plan using these models and that same structure layout. So you can break down budget, you can break down timeline, you can break down scope of work, and you can get into all as many details as you can. The more data and information you give it, the more robust it'll be.
Yeah, I honestly, since I found this tool out, I use it every day. Now I don't use Chat GPT. I use Gemini
Yeah.
mostly, but
hmm
now I use Gemini and then other AI, and I'm sure you're gonna get into it, but yeah, fascinating. Thank you so much.
No, no, no worries. Hope this helps. And again, Gemini and Chat, they're called LLMs. They're large language models. So there's going to be more that break out. Again, Gemini is Google's model, and Chat's it's its own. So there's a whole bunch of deviations and variations of these models that are going to come out, and then you're going to have your offshoots of models that specifically target like a special need or a special service that you may need. And it'll kind of keep growing and scaling from there. Does anybody have any other questions, or does anybody want to test out a question, like an idea, or have an idea of an expansion for their company or in your current market um, that you guys want to try to build out? No, nobody wants to try to do anything exciting here. All right. So let's say you're in your company and you're in your business and you're looking to diversify, right? You currently own, can you guys tell me an industry? Tell me an industry of a market that might benefit you. Let's do the chamber. I'm using you, Bree, sorry. Let's do the chamber. So let's diversify the chamber and see what they can do. We don't know what they can do, and we don't know what capabilities they may have currently in the market now. So let's do this one off the cuff. So we currently work with the South Lake Chamber of Commerce here in Claremont, Florida, and we are looking to expand our reach and diversify how we can help businesses in Central Florida. Our main goal with the agency is we are trying to help medium to small scale businesses in growth and development over time. So we're always hosting different events. You can look at our website and see kind of some of the services that we've already done. But we want to see how else we can help businesses and support our community here in Lake County. Do you have any suggestions on what we can do? We're not exactly sure what needs to be done or if we need to make any changes, but this is something that we would like to do to help our local businesses. So this prompt is very generic. We know that we have an idea. We know that we want to help with something, but we're not sure how we want to do it. We just know that we want growth. I know David Colby would back me up on that one. So those targeted business growth workshops, which is kind of what we're doing right now. Launch a business growth circle or accelerator program. We have that. Branding, marketing strategy, financial planning, tech adoption. Central Florida Resource Hub online. So this one's new. So this is like a more of digital assets that would be beneficial for like chamber members. Offer monthly office hours, free brand audits. So this one is brand related. So this is ensuring that the companies have more diverse like visual elements throughout the companies. Create Lake County Leaders podcast or YouTube series. Bree, you can do that one, right? So this is taking them more into the digital space with number 5. Partner with local schools, colleges, and an entrepreneurs program. Perfect. They already have this model. Survey business community. What are their biggest growth challenges? What's marketing effort? Industry events. I'm scanning here, guys. Industry events. We have, okay, so we do all of the other ones, offer science scale packages. We already have that one. Create local business directories. So the main one that we see here is this podcast YouTube series. So I want you guys to kind of see an example of what happened. So I gave it a very broad, generic answer, right? So it gave me standard suggestions that you would do for a chamber, right? These are some standard models that you would have. But what we want to do is we want to kind of refine some of those elements because we do a lot of those right now. So what you can do is you can paste, please review the website for the chamber. And we do a lot of the elements that you've already kind of described. The only one that we don't really do is number 5, which would be the podcast and YouTube series. How would we go about doing that, and what exactly would that entail? We are a staff of 4, and we do not have a lot of time. So how can we do this so that we can make this as streamlined as possible? And then what I would do is I would also put in the chamber website. So you can plug in different things. Let's say you have a PDF with data and like resources on it. Let's say you have a Word document. Let's say you just have photos. You can implement, the more data and information you give this tool, the better, and the more it'll give you a more accurate prompt as you're going through. So concept, 5 to 10 minutes per episode, style casual interviews with local business owners, entrepreneurs, and community leaders, bi-weekly or monthly based on your team's capacity. Objective is a showcase series behind local businesses, provides insights and tips for other small business owners, strengthen community ties, and promote local commerce. Equipment setup, microphone, and the cool part is that it'll give me the breakdown of average budget for the tools that I may need for it. Headphones. So let's say I want to dive into this before I kind of keep going. So I'm looking at the minimalist equipment setup that you have here. We really don't have a large budget. We probably have about $500 available for all of the equipment that we need. Can you give me suggestions and links to where we can buy this? We only want to buy from Amazon, though, because we need it within 2 days so that we can start this podcast. So it'll tell you where it's pulling data from right now. So the reason why I can pull from certain resources is because they have something called like CMSs. So it can crawl and see what information and data they have. And from there, it can pull the resources that it needs to give you your responses. And then we have our quick links right here for it on where it's pulling the data from. Concepts, format, objectives. So here's the tech that we need. Here's the mic, and it comes with a bag. So any headphones would work. It says use your smartphone. We don't need to buy anything. Lighting, natural light. So it's keeping our budget at a minimum because it knows that we don't have a lot to work with. Use free tools, Audacity, and it's giving us our video editing tools. And then You have your workflow, promotion strategies. So you can keep scaling on this, and then we can jump into, okay, so here's the list of businesses that we want to showcase on this podcast or on this YouTube channel or whatever, and you can break down the businesses that are going to be coming, and then it can give you the whole structure for creating this whole series. And you can say, okay, this series looks great. This is the whole, and I'm giving you all this free. You can upload the whole client list that you have and then say, okay, these are the current businesses that we have in our chamber structure. I want you to coordinate and schedule the businesses based off of their industries and based off of the type of companies that they are, so that as we're having these episodes and these seasons, it structures it in a way that is super engaging for the users, and it keeps the diversity between the businesses exciting, and we can leverage that for future engagements or back it up to business after hours, or support the businesses that we're spotlighting with other companies that might be complementary to those industries. Please look at their websites, look at any data related to this company, and structure out a whole plan based off of all 900,000 members, and make this plan structured out for the entire year so that I can approach it on a step-by-step basis. And please give me a job work schedule that Bree and the team can use so that we can structure this out over time and I can implement it into my very busy schedule. And then this would frame out that whole structure. So you can make this as powerful as you want it to be. It's just a matter of your prompt and the feedback that it's giving you. It's a little wild as to how powerful this tool can get. Um, it's crazy. Does anybody have any questions, or does this make sense?
William, you have a question in the chat.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I do have a question. So your recommendation would be, if we don't exactly know exactly, how would I say, what the
What the
question
prompt
or
is?
air, yes. So you just start generic, and as it goes, you go, oh, okay, now I want to go more this way. Okay, now can you go more that way? And then slowly you go
You
adding
tailor it.
up and narrowing the objective.
Narrowing the,
Okay.
yeah. So if you know, if you can say, hey, I own Yoga 6, I'm looking for a way to do XYZ. How can I do that? What would be the best approach? The way
Mhm.
I like to use the model is, I don't judge me, guys, okay? I like to use the model almost as like my personal friend business advisor. So I'm like, oh, these are some of the strategies that I want to do. I have some great ideas for this, but I don't know if they're practical or if I should definitely use them. It'll always have, from what I've noticed, it'll always have a positive reinforcing attitude, but you can tell it to be like, hey, I need you to be realistic with me. Like, these are my margins. This is where I'm at. I need you to give me like a concrete response and act like a business advisor and tell me if this is the right option for the company. And it'll frame it out and it'll say, oh, maybe right now might not be the best time for you to do this, but maybe you can scale this out or break it into sections. So if you converse with it, it makes it, to me, it makes it even better. There is an app that chat has also. I haven't used Gemini very often, but I believe it has it as well. But you can use the chat model and it'll talk back and forth with you. And you can do the same thing as this that I prefer. I'm always running around and I'm always moving. So if I can do it on the go, I can say, oh, I have this concept, or I want to do this, or I'm trying to increase revenue by 10%. What would be some great tools that I can use to make that possible? And then she'll talk back to me and I kind of do it on the road or if I'm driving. So I'm always kind of brainstorming and spotlighting ideas.
Mhm.
Hey, William.
Yes, and I see
This
the
is
chats on here, and I'll get to them right after Harry. How are you,
okay.
Harry?
Hey, great. Finally got in here. My Fathom, I think, was preventing me, but great to see you guys. Real quick, I love what you just said. I use AI as my business partner on all the solicitations I get. If something sounds appealing, I run it through AI. And one recently was I was approached about growing my LinkedIn with finding founders. The person wanted $10,000 for this year-long system, blah, blah, blah. I ran it through AI saying, this is what I'm looking to do. What are the tools I need to do this? For $150, I have automated outreach going out to founders across the country with a sequence, which is, it's running all the time. So when you guys hear of something that sounds really good, like William said, run it through your AI partner and just say, this is what I'm thinking. Is this a good idea? And chances are it's going to find something better for you. So great advice.
Yeah, and you can always vet and to your to kind of stack on that, Harry. You can use it as a way to vet companies as well.
Mm,
Let's say someone is trying to work with you or someone's trying to collaborate or partner with you, you can have it scan the company.
mm,
You say, hey, this is the company's website. The founder reached out to me and they're looking to do X, Y, and Z. Can you do some investigation? Like, I really don't know who they are and I've never heard of them. How should I work with them? Do they align right with my business values and the model and direction that I'm trying to go with my company? And you can have it screen people. It can be your FBI agent to help you make sure that you're making the best strategic decisions for your company versus you having just that internal dialogue at bed at night saying, is this a good idea? And you don't have anyone to kind of bounce ideas off of, right? So you talk to it like a friend. Um, it's wild with the feedback and the responses. Regarding to the questions that you have, you're using ChatGPT 40. Yeah, I'm using the paid version. The free version, let me see. I'll open up the site here and I'll see what their paid versions are. Actually, let's just ask because we don't want to do all the research. So I have a question regarding the free version of what you have. Um, how does that compare to the paid version? And also, how long does the free version hold prompts and what are my limitations with it? And can you break this down into a table so that I don't get confused between the two? So you can prompt it to structure things for you so that when you're looking at it, it's a lot more organized versus just a body of text. So free version, slower response times. During high demand, no memory, past chats across seasons. Here's your answer, Kelly.
Actually, I have the free version and it has all the memory still on there
It
from
does?
2 years ago. So I'm just, I'm like crossing my fingers that it stays, you know?
Yeah. So let me see.
The
So
only thing, sorry,
no,
William.
you're okay.
The only thing that I only use the free version as well because
Mhm.
I'm considered like super beginner, so I
Yeah.
don't want to pay for something I don't know. The only thing that I noticed that there was a time when I've been having issues with my leads and everything, so I upload the leads. It gave me, the highlights that I needed, and then it offered to write me a letter to my landlord, and I got
Mhm.
exam. So I went back and forth with this. And when I did only that, I really went back and forth for a long time.
Mhm.
But when I did that another time for another issue, after using it for a lot of social media content, it just seemed like your time is up or you reached the limit for the free
Capped you.
version. But it was just like come back tomorrow. But it was late at night. In the morning, I went back and I continued. So the only issue that I faced was that sometimes when you use it like for too many different issues, it stops you at some point. But when I was going with the same issue, I was like almost 1 hour doing agreements and HOA regulations and back and
Mhm.
forth, creating letters. How about this? And you would go on and on with me for over an hour with like content exchanging. So
Nice.
I never used the voice, but I mean, I've never had any problems besides that.
And that's what we were talking about earlier regarding like the memory. And if you're changing topics, make sure that you create a new chat. Like create a new prompt. Don't keep it in the same stream. Because what we were talking about before, it doesn't have a lot of memory. Like it has memory and it has a decent amount, but as you get deeper into it or as you get deeper into your prompt, it doesn't always factor in all of the information, or it might miss certain pieces of information. So if you're doing something that's very detailed, you have to give it some like guardrails. So you want to give it parameters, like make sure that you're only analyzing these key elements between here and here. And you want to give it a clear scope of what you want it to do. Talk to it kind of like a 3-year-old, but that knows a lot of stuff. So chat history, it says unlimited on the free, but I will say they are updating these models like every other month because they're getting very robust and they're getting more and more powerful literally by the day. So that's a good example of vetting the data that it gives you. So we got some data that was outdated, right? It was older information. So I just asked, I was like, can you give me the direct link to your payments page so that I can kind of review it? And then I jumped on the payments page and we can see here now that you do have additional history. But yeah, it has parameters and it's not as fast. So hopefully that answers your guys' question. Any other questions, any other feedback, or are we good? Good? Perfect. Okay, so I am going to switch back over to the deck. So these are different tools that are using AI currently. There's a ton out there, and there are going to be a lot more that are coming out. Feel free to take a screenshot of this slide. So feel free to play, and this is kind of broken down into how you can use it or what a lot of people probably use Grammarly. That's a big one. But these are a lot of really cool tools that we've played with that have some pretty wild capabilities. So I wanted to provide this to you guys just so that you can kind of review. So now let's get a little bit deeper into it, not too crazy, but the long-term objective of this is AI agents, right? Full autonomy is the objective. We want to just be able to communicate and talk to an agent and say, "Hey, I need to create I want to grow the company. I want to focus on SEO, handle it." And you just hand that off and then it just runs your system for you fully independently. We're not there yet. It is coming, but we're not there yet. So autonomous software systems that act on behalf of the users. So this is called an AI workflow, right? This is a workflow for social. So what this model does is it has a trigger based off of a time or this one has a trigger based off of a time, and then it jumps into a platform, a third-party platform. This one is Notion. And it then breaks into different elements based off of what you need it to do. So this one is for Facebook, this one is for Instagram Reels. So what it does is it'll grab the data, grab the information, create the post, and then post it on your social based off of the information or resources that it gathered on Notion. And then you can have other instances between that so that it fully automates the system and you kind of have this running in the background and it has a trigger. So every day or every other day or every few days, it'll generate the content for you or the post for you, and then you can either approve it or you would wait for it to be cleared, or you can have it do it automatically. You can do this with social. You can do this with your LinkedIn. These workflows is where everything is going. This is the change that's coming, because what will happen is it'll streamline the process of creating content or information for your company. Our biggest thing that a lot of us don't have a lot of time for is networking. So if we can have a tool that can assist on the networking aspect of it and just put out information based off of things that have happened either a few days ago, or just have main content that's related to your company or your industry, it's amazing how these tools can be used. Oh, thank you for posting the Adobe Express pricing on here. Any question on agentic workflows? This is a little bit more complex stuff, but I wanted you guys to see where the future of AI, well, where AI is now. This isn't the future. This is already here. These are all agentic workflows. But what's going to happen is, as the memory starts to improve with these models, these systems are just going to get more powerful and more robust, helping you automate a lot of your internal workflows in your business. Any question on agentic? Perfect. Main objective of this is a superpower. Do not see this as a threat element. This is meant to help you scale your company, help you scale your business, and kind of push forward. I was seeing kind of where everything was going with the market, and the systems are getting powerful and they're getting even faster in terms of their development. And I'm a chamber member. I know a lot of you already. I'm using these tools. I've been using these tools since they launched, and it has taken leaps and bounds since then. If you are not implementing some form of AI into your day-to-day, you will be left behind. There's going to be a competitor or another business that offers similar services to you that will be using these tools, and they'll have almost an unfair advantage. So I wanted to make sure that as many people as possible that are part of the chamber and that are part of this group can use this, so that you can grow your companies, scale your businesses. You guys offer a lot of amazing services, and I want you guys to have the platform and the tools available to scale. So I hope that this talk was helpful for you. I appreciate all of your time. I know that you guys are super busy, but I appreciate your time for jumping on this call. And if you guys have any questions or need any additional feedback, feel free to let me know. I think we have, it's 8:54. So we have a few minutes left. But if you have any details or want to talk to me, feel free to either reach out or we can talk now. We have time available now as well. Thank you.